to Miss Vivi as our moderator. The time is yours.
Thank you, Miss Dewi, for the introduction. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom and good afternoon. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Researcher and Research Student Enrichment Program. My name is Octaviani, but you can call me Vivi. I'm a lecturer from Marine Transportation Engineering Department ITS, and I will be the moderator for today's session. Today is the second session of webinar R2SEP, aiming to broaden our horizon about the research. Today's topic is finding research idea and literature review with the latest tool and also the method. If you are interested in how to prepare your latest tool and method for your research, this is the right time for you. And first and foremost, I would like to thank to the Postgraduate Office ITS for giving me the opportunity. It's been an honor for me to be a moderator for this event. Now, we are pleased to inform you that we already have Mr. Bayu Aditama, PhD. Hello, Mr. Bayu. It's my pleasure to meet you. Before we come to our main event, let me provide some brief introduction about our speaker. Mr. Bayu Aditama obtained his bachelor degree from Sriwijaya University, majoring in electrical engineering, and also the Master of Information Technology from University of Indonesia. Mr. Bayu is very experienced in research field in information technology sector, started in 2008 when he became lecturer in Faculty of Computer Science in Sriwijaya University, and continue with his doctoral degree from Department of IT, Convergence and Application Engineering from Pukyong National University, Republic of Korea, with major information system, and the minor is data analytic for cybersecurity. He has been a postdoctoral research associate for Ulsan National Institute of Science and Technology in Process Mining, and Pohang University of Science and Industrial AI. Around 2020, he became the senior researcher in data science group IBS Korea, and currently he is postdoctoral research associate in Department of Information System, University of Maryland, Baltimore, USA. His research interests on data mining, computational social science, and also the industrial AI. He has produced about around 28 papers SCIE Index Journal with total citation around 1,800 in Google Scholar. So without any further ado, let me hand over to Mr. Bayu. Mr. Bayu, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much for the kind introductions. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, you can hear you.
Yeah. So let me share my screen. All right. So can you see my screen?
Yes, Bapak, we can see your screen.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for having me today in this very prestigious talk. I know that, yeah, it's been like a long history and then, like long history of these programs based on the invitations. I know from the invitations, this is very prestigious meeting, prestigious program. So, yeah, my name is Bayu Aditama. So I'm currently a senior research associate at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And today I'm going to talk about the finding research idea and literature review. And we are going to also discuss about latest tools and methods. So yeah, before we start, I think, yeah, I can change a little bit for the this talk. I think, yeah, it will be better to, probably you can ask me anytime if you want, then you don't need to wait until the the end of the sessions. And then, yeah, if you have questions anytime, please interrupt me anytime. So we can have such kind of, innovative talk, and then we can have such kind of collaborative talk. Yeah, I'm happy to have like interaction from you if you have any questions. Yeah, I think it's already done by the moderator and also by the MC, that it's like a background of myself. I do research in data science actually, and specifically in applied data mining and also related fields, the applications of the data mining itself. Yeah, I'm currently a research associate, like a senior research associate at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, USA. And previously, I was a data science group as a senior research fellow. And then I did also 2 postdocs at Postech and Unis. Yeah, you can reach out to my website. This is for for the details. And probably I can, like, if you don't mind, then I can also hear from you, like, for some students, like, for your name, your year, topic, and what is your research experience, and little bit, maybe like a background why you are here, and then what you hope to learn from this talk. So probably I can also ask some students. So maybe we have some PhD students or master students. So how many PhD students here?
We have both master and also PhD student.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think can ask some of you to little bit describe or
Oh, well, most of them are master student because we have more master program than PhD program here. However, I think
so I think, yeah, little bit I think this topic is more appropriate for PhD students. Then I think some of the PhD students, maybe can I hear some,
yeah,
at least like a year or topic or the research experience.
Oh yeah. Perhaps the student from PhD level, doctoral level can chat what is your title of the research. Oh, here, Pak, there is one, Hanson Prihantoro in the chat box. Hanson Prihantoro, he is a student of 2022 software engineering, doctoral student, and then doing a systematic literature review.
All right. So what grade are you in right now? Like what year?
I think he is in grade 1, year 1.
Oh, the first year. Okay.
Okay.
So anyone again to speak up a little bit?
Or maybe the participants can use the raise hand feature to speak up.
Yeah, this is just like to encourage you, all of you, to get like active participations during the talks, not just hearing my talk without any response. So this is like the problem of the online kind of online lectures. Yeah, so I encourage all of you. So maybe then I can talk to Rafani or civil engineering. Okay, can you speak a little bit? Okay, Iqbal Januar. Okay, probably. Yeah, you are in the first semester, and then maybe like.
There is one person who raised the hands.
Oh.
Raise hand.
Okay. Muhammad Alfian.
To introduce myself, my name is Muhammad Alfian. I am a doctoral student of computer science.
Would you please? I think you can speak, but the background noise is quite obstructing your voices.
Is my sound clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can try.
My name is Muhammad Alfian. I am a computer science doctoral program. My research is about adaptive e-learning, actually, e-learning, and in the specific, I doing in assessment, adaptive assessment testing. I am in this first semester here and still searching for problems of my field.
Okay, you are in the right place now.
Yeah.
we will be discussing about the finding research problem. Okay, thank you. So anyone from PhD students? Okay, Sukma.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Sukma Adi Perdana, and this is my first year in ITS, and I am the student of the Statistics Department, especially in doctoral study of Statistics Department. And my research probably about the statistical quality control, especially how to utilize the control chart in order to monitoring the higher education quality assurance.
All right, thank you, Sukma. Yeah. Okay, anyone? So yeah, maybe we can continue then. Yeah, probably the others they're sighing. What they did. Okay.
There is one more.
Marlene. Okay, one more. Yeah, one more. Okay,
Marlene, please introduce yourself.
Marlene.
Hello. Yeah, hello. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sure.
Yes, please continue, Miss Marlene.
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. It's Marlene Loister-Surikar. I'm entering for the doctoral program in industrial engineering. My research is for supply chain management, specialist for supplier selection. Thank you, Pak.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Marlene, for the introduction. Anyone? If no more, then we can continue. Okay, let's continue then. Just like a few students. Thank you so much. And yeah, this is like the picture of mine. Like, like a few days after I arrived here, and we went to some places, and then, I have a chance to get the picture. Luckily. Okay, and what is the agenda of the today talk? We have the introductions, and I'm gonna talk about how we can identify the research problems, followed by literature review, methods and tools. We will use some methods and tools, and I will introduce various tools that we can use for the literature review. And finally, we will discuss about the case studies of the papers of review article. Okay, maybe some of you already familiar with the research. So you are now in the master degree or the PhD degree. So I just want to, just to recall the definitions of the research itself. So what is the research? Actually, the research is, if we search in the Google, the systematic investigations into this and study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. So here there is kind of systematic investigation. So we investigate systematically about the materials and sources, and our goal is actually to find the facts and to find the conclusions about the the sources or the topics that we are going to investigate. So the second definition from Merriam-Webster dictionary actually is almost similar. It is like investigation of or experimentations aimed at the discovery and interpretation of facts, revisions of accepted theories or laws in the light of new facts, or practical application of such new or revised theories or laws. So here again, we do a kind of discovery, and also there is one things about the research. It's not about discovery, but also we try to interpret. We have to interpret the facts, and we also make a revision of the accepted theories. So maybe there is like existing theories. There are existing theories or laws. Then we can all revise. So that's why it can be acceptable in academia community, or it can be like a practical applications of the new or revised theories or laws. Yeah. So our objective is to search or to investigate exhaustively, and we also do careful or diligent search to go to the to the final conclusions based on the Google terminology. So there is a diligent search again, and then there will be exhaustive investigations, and also there's interpretations, as well as the revisions of the practical applications of facts. So this is like a definition of the research. So let's start to talk about the identifying the research questions. So yeah, most of the master and PhD student also, yeah, I was facing the same problem like you, because I was a graduate student too. I was a PhD student, I was a master student, and I think the hardest part of the research is sometimes asking questions, asking about the questions, asking about the research problem itself, how we can identify the research problems by asking questions. And during my master degree, I remember that I remember about the I was I think fortunate that my supervisor actually introduced a new topic for me. It was about data mining for business application, I think, if I remember correctly. Data mining for business application, for customer relationship management, more specifically. And yeah, it was introduced by my supervisor. Then yeah, I was fortunate, and I didn't try to ask questions, but the topics was coming to my mind, and then yeah, I just like to search for the literature review. But for a PhD student, I remember that you have to define your your specific questions, your specific research problems by yourself. So yeah, I think supervisor is only like the portion of the supervisor itself is only like, yeah, probably 10% throughout the process of the PhD students. So for the 90% is, is yours, like it's our responsibility to find from the, find the research problems until, the end of the research process. And then, this is like the hardest part for the PhD student particularly, how to ask the research questions, how to ask the questions. And I believe that, you are smart enough here. If you are admitted to graduate school, you are usually skilled and, and you have an ability to answer the questions. And this is what your colleague education, taught you, because the objective of the graduate student actually just like to instruct you in the art of questioning, how to answer the questions, how to raise the questions, and then how to find the questions itself. And your question will be, indicating formulations of the problem. So this is kind of problem formulations here. So after we ask the questions, then we have a problem formulations. We have to formulate the problem, and we can find the problem, and then we have to solve the problem. That's the process of the asking questions. So the characteristic of the great research, actually we have some criteria for the great research. So actually great research needs the idea. Of course, we have to ask questions, problem formulations, and then, asking questions come from the idea. It come from your brain, your thought, or your, your like your experience about the, the facts, and also about the, real applications. Yeah, it can be anything, the idea, and executions. So not just, we have the idea, but we have to execute the idea. And so that's why we have to do the research, right? So yeah, we have to execute, and then we have to presenting the results. There is a kind of a presentation of the results. It can be a paper in journal, or in, conference, or any other kind of the presentations. And yeah, also we will here means kind of a future research problem. So what kind of improvement that we can do after we do the research. And yeah, it's about like a future research problem. So I think like some problem that we cannot resolve, that we cannot solve in our research, then other researchers also may also continue to do the same research like you. And then, yeah, this is we can categorize as a future research room. So there is like an idea, executions, presentation, and we will talk about the future works. So well-presented research convince you, yeah, there's so many things about the problems. The problem is interesting, and the problem is hard, and also we can also can be indications of the that the authors have solved the problem itself. So from the presentations, actually, in terms of the can be like a presentation in paper, or in in general presentation, or in journal, or in seminar, then yeah, we are trying to introduce the problem, and then we are trying to to convince that, the problem that we are solving is interesting. It can be like a, effect on the human welfare, for instance, can be like, increase the customer corporate profits. So improve the defense, for instance, in terms of the security. And for the evidence, actually, other people have worked on it. And then there are existing words that are similar to what you are doing right now. So kind of evidence. So from these two things, I think we can judge that, the problem is interesting. So it is usually written on the introduction of the paper, actually, introduction of the research. And what else? The problem is hard. Other people may have tried, but they fail, or they have like maybe like they got the worst performance, and obvious approaches do not work. Actually, they don't. As I mentioned, they have a poor performance. They have like weak performance, or anything else that that can be mentioned of the previous approaches. And problem persists over time. So many previous researchers also have done for the long time ago, and then you are trying to solve the same problem with the different aspects, with the different approach, and you are going to improve the performance, etc. And also it convinces you, for the authors have solved the problems. So it can be like a technical details of the proposed methods, and as well as like evaluations. We can make a kind of proofs or experiments to convince our contributions, to convince our proposed method works well on our domain. So this is like the criteria for the well-presented research. So how to get the research idea? Actually, there's so many resources of research idea. Can be something, something the topic that we have been doing for a long time. Always be working on something. Even this is not for your future thesis topic. But it can be like something that you have been working, or think about the problem, difficulties, or irritations. And from here you may get a sidetrack into something more important. From there we can learn about other research. So because you have been working on the same topic, then it's better to learn from the other research. How to learn the other research? To see the state of the art of the research, and to see the current trend of the research. You have to attend talks, like our talk today. And we can also read papers and also take classes. It can be, classes in graduate students, or even in others, in other like seminar. There's so many right now online seminars and etc. You can attend for free even. And we have to read papers as well, and read the papers, try to understand, and we have to try to know the future work they identified. So in the last section, actually, the paper usually mentions, the authors usually mentions about future work for other researchers. Then we can identify the future work from that part, from the conclusion part, actually. And connection they didn't make. So it can be a connection to other application, for instance, or connection to connection to to your research topics, to your to other topics. So any kind of connections that the author did not make on that paper, and it can be about assumptions and other criticism. So kind of criticisms then we have to make as a PhD student. So it will help you to find the kind of research idea, because we make a critic to the paper in terms of maybe performance is not good, or it is not reliable in the real applications, or it can be other things. So any critics to the existing paper. So from that we can get kind of research ideas about what the previous research actually have done. And from your advisor actually we can also get the research idea. As I mentioned, I was a master student and I got the topic from my supervisor actually, but this is not recommended for the PhD thesis, because as I mentioned, PhD topic is PhD work is kind of original contributions from you. So it will be better if the topics come from you, not come from your advisor. Okay, any questions? No? Okay. And the research ideas from our supervisor actually, our advisor actually, it is fine usually for the starter project for bachelor degree program or master degree program, but it's not recommended for the PhD topic. So keep in mind on this kind of rule. So then don't expect too much from your supervisor if you are a PhD student. Don't expect too much about the research idea, about the progress, etc. So you have to do by yourself. And that's a PhD. Okay. Then think outside the box. This is like a good also tools, a good way to do to get a research idea, because a good research idea often cheats, something that unpredictable, unbelievable before. It can be also the same strategy as others, and it is unlikely that you will achieve more success. This is kind of the strategy. We can have the same strategy as the previous research, or we can have different strategy, and also we can have the alternative approach, from the existing ones. Try to think outside the box. Don't think something unfamiliar, maybe you are unfamiliar with, or the topic that you are you are new, but you have to do you have to think outside the box. You have to think beyond your idea, beyond your ability. So it will help you to get the research idea. So in here, sometimes bad ideas are essential. So trying to ask, even with the stupid questions, or with the, with the bad ideas, something, probably the ideas are not, are not clear, or sometimes the ideas are not, stupid, but yeah, we can start from that. So because bad ideas actually are very important actually. So you can have like a bad ideas, and most ideas are bad ideas. So there is no good ideas. There is no something like maybe like stupid ideas. Then yeah, we can start from that. Then if you have lots of ideas, then yeah, will be good. Or even some of the ideas that will be good for you formulations of the problem. And think about the things that it's better to have bad ideas than no ideas. So if you have more ideas, if you don't have idea, then how we can start the research? There is no idea at all, and you just come regularly maybe to the class. That's the habit for the master student or graduate student. I mean, for the bachelor student. But for the PhD student, actually, yeah, we need to have like ideas, even the bad ideas, and then better than no ideas. Yeah, from that we can teach the people. I can teach people how to filter, and it's harder to teach courage and imagination. So yeah, from the bad ideas, actually, we can filter out which one is more essential, which one are more more solvable. Then we can filter out. And this kind of filtering process, is actually your initial advisor roles. So it can be your advisor roles. This can be like your your better understanding of the topic itself, and then you will get a better with time and spend less time evaluating and discarding bad ideas. By filtering out these ideas, also you have faith in your own judgments, and your advisor is not infallible. So meaning that you have filtered out the bad ideas by yourself, and then the problem itself, and then by filtering out the problems, then it can be your your topics, your specific topics that you will do in your research. And we have to generate lots of ideas before filtering. So we can also do depth first, and not depth first, but breadth first approach to the problem. So try to generate lots of ideas before filtering out. So this is like the second, I think the second or the third best practice for how to find the research problem. So start from the bad ideas, and it can be like automation. From the automation, we can also say that after we observe some of the phenomena in the real applications, that we try to automate it. Like find a task that is currently done manually, and then time consuming and also difficult, and we are trying to make it automatic. And we have to understand thoughtfully. We have to examine the manual process, and what reasoning does person do. It's about reasonings, why they do the manual things, and why it is time consuming, and why it is difficult to solve. Or can we automate the problems, and can we automate the process? And also this can be helpful to identify the research problem from the manual actually to the automatic one. kind of, there's like a different process, right? From the automatic, from the manual to the automatic ones, kind of a transition of the process. So yeah, from that we can have also idea how to automate the process, how to to improve. This is like a kind of time-consuming work, time-consuming task. Then how to improve these kind of things, this process. Then yeah, from that we can think about the idea of automation, or we can think about contrarianism. So so do the opposite of what everyone else expect. So we can do the contrarianisms, like the contrary works. So this is like can be like a very radical things, I think, because we have to do something different. It can be like totally different from the existing approach, or can be like maybe like 50%, kind of something that opposites for what everyone else. And in this matters, actually, you have to identify, you have to justify why it matters, why it is meaningful. For example, we can do the sequentializing the parallel program, for instance. We can solve the same problem, but will be better. It's better in some ways. We have to try to solve the problems in the same problem with the previous one, but with the with a better approach, or with the better performance, accuracy, and etc. So what else is notice complementary approach? So it can be like two approaches to the same problems, and then whenever wherever the one is used in other application, then you're going to try to your own specific topics. And then yeah, this is kind of the complementary, and you find such a particular topic, so particular approach is useful, is applicable in other applications, then you're going to try you're going to apply to your specific problems, maybe. Then yeah, try to get the complementary approach, or try to understand the context from the other application. So for instance, right now I'm not familiar with bioinformatics. Actually, bioinformatics is, I never learned, and then I never studied. Then, but for my current research, actually, the topic is about in glacial layer tracing, kind of as a part of the polar science, and I'm going to apply data science for the for the polar science. Then yeah, it comes to my mind, actually, so many. I have studied different topics on this, and then I have I found something, a similar topic, similar approach from the bioinformatics. Yeah, it can be. Yeah, I thought that I was thinking about how can we also use the same approach as bioinformaticians do, with their approach. Is it applicable to my to my topics or not? And yeah, I'm in the process of that. Try to find the other approach that can be applicable to our approach, to our topics. Or we can try to combine the existing techniques. So something with hybrid, maybe you will find the paper about the hybrid approach. It can be like, like a combination of the existing techniques, kind of a combination. So apply the existing one with another, and create a hybrid analysis. So maybe for the previous previous publication, actually they use only one particular approach, and then why we don't ensemble it or create new combinations techniques, or combined techniques and also hybrid techniques to do the to solve the same problem. So it can be combining existing techniques for the finding research problem, or can be cross fertilizations. Yeah, this is like it can be as I mentioned previously, take an approach from one domain then apply it to another. So for example, I'm doing the data science, machine learning, and yeah, a little bit I study statistics. I know, yeah, some of you have background in statistics, but I don't have background in statistics actually. My background is electrical engineering. And yeah, we can take also the same approach from biology. Have you ever heard about the nature-inspired algorithms? Actually, not nature-inspired algorithm, like for feature selections and for for hyperparameter optimizations. Actually, they are coming from the same techniques or the same characteristic of the biology, from the biology. The idea is really come from the biology. So that's why from the name, we can imply that it comes from biology, because the name is nature-inspired algorithms. Yeah, can be from others, like even social science. Actually, if you find something interesting phenomena in social science, in in the society, then you can apply the data science itself to understand the behavior of the society, or yeah, even not only from the from the natural sciences, but also it can be also coming from the social science perspective. As I did in IBS last time, I did like several topics, several projects related on the implementing applications of data science for social problem. So we call it as a computational social problem. So how to solve the social problem, how to understand the social phenomena using data science. Okay, next. Fill in gaps. Actually, this is also essential in your research. By reviewing your previous research, by reviewing the previous existing research, and are there any commonalities, or they're the same themes or commonalities, similar ones, the same techniques, or even any kind of commonalities. And we have to find a ways to fill the gaps. So after the finding the gaps, then we have to think about how to fill the gaps. And this is particularly useful for creating a PhD thesis out of the sequence of successful projects. But this is also useful how we can, bridge the gaps, fill the gaps with your proposed techniques, with your proposed idea. And by reviewing the existing approach, by reviewing the existing approach, then we can understand the commonalities and also the the gap, research gaps. Actually, we can identify the research gap that available, and yeah, we have to find a way how to fill the gaps. And we have to define also goal, and we have to define the techniques itself. So as I mentioned, we are not just filling the gaps, bridge the gap, identify the gaps, but we have the goal and we have the techniques. We can also compare between goal versus techniques here. So a research project may requires a goal of the problems or technical approach. And the advantages of starting with the goal is we can have more technical approach, more likely to find the technical approach, and more likely to be novel and relevant. And what is advantages of the projects that is starting with the techniques? So quick to complete this, we can also complete the project even better, quicker than a goal approach. And the thing that why this is quicker to finish the project, because you probably already have it implemented, because you already implemented already, and fits well with your other works, and you find some techniques that are that are feasible or that are applicable, and we can also try with the new techniques, with the new application domain, for instance. Then we can get something new from here. And if it is it is like a well performed in our new domain, or can be like a new implementation, for instance, from your existing for your previous work. This is like a comparison between goal and the techniques approach. Any questions so far? So before, I'm gonna take maybe give me like a 1 minute or 2 minutes. Let me find a water. Any questions?
Actually, we have some questions, but maybe you can continue with your presentation first, then we can go for the
all right.
question and answer.
Okay, all right. Okay. So you have to identify also what is your secret work weapon, actually. And in here, from your secret weapon, actually, you can identify your unique sets of skills and experiences. So you have a prior experience about some things, about the domains, and you have like a set of skills, can be like programming skills, or in terms of computer science, programming skills, or even like maybe presentation skills. You can use the your unique sets of skills and experiences. And so maybe you are the best, or you are the right person to work on this area, and because you have taken a particular combination of classes, you do a double degree, for instance, and also you have a friend. Actually, you have a friend with the tool, techniques, or knowledge that you can, learn from it, learn from him or her, from the tool, techniques, or even knowledge. Or even you thought of this is the first of the first effort that the first effort of the approach that you're gonna propose. It can be, like a new approach or new applications. And actually the last ones can be, hardworking. You are a hardworking people, you are a hardworking persons. And this is your, maybe your secret weapons, like identify your secret weapons. I don't know, something, maybe you have all of these criteria, or you have some of these criteria, then you have to identify. But actually, it's like combinations, maybe like maybe can be any of these criteria, or like a combinations. Maybe you have two, you have friends, and then you have like you have attended like so many classes, combination of classes, and maybe you are like a hardworking persons, or you have like a unique skill, like experiences. So identify what is your secret weapon. We need the patience for your work. For our research, actually, we need the patience. So this is like your intellectual curiosity about the topics. But patience, actually, curiosity is not sufficient. It's not only patience. It's not only curiosity, but I mean, there should be like necessary. Necessary means your love for the topic will affect your motivations. Actually, do what you love, do what you love, or not do and not love what you do. Actually, that we can also combine these two things. So it helps to find the topics as well. And okay, then the second one is about the literature review. This is I'm going to talk about the methods and tools. After we identify the problems, then we specify the idea, the research problem. Then we're gonna do literature review using some methods and tools. So literature review, actually, this is a kind of things that play critical role in scholarship in the academia, because science remains and first and foremost a cumulative endeavor. So it can be like two major forms. It can be like a literature review or background in the journal paper on the chapter of graduate thesis, or it can be a review article. So it can have two forms here. Actually, from the introduction, actually, we try to understand the review, the literature review itself. And specifically, we can also publish these results, our literature review, into a paper. We call it like a review article. So in the review article, actually, this is why the review article is meaningful, during your PhD or master thesis. Actually, the review articles, when you make the review articles, then it usually become the frequently cited pieces of work. So, and then it can be cited and downloaded more often than other type of published article. Then original article, actually, I have some of the review articles, then we can discuss or we can talk together if you want, and how to make the review articles. And yeah, based on my experience, actually, if I submit the paper like original or like a new contribution of the original article, I mean, yeah, it received a lot of citations, but I think for the review article, I think it received more than the original article based on my experience. So it is true actually, because our review article is the most useful primary sources for the other researchers. So other researchers may use this these review articles as a primary sources, even to find the research gap, to find the the idea, and to find the the problem itself from a particular topics, and you can find in the kind of a review articles. So what is the purpose of a literate review? Actually, this is like a critical look at the existing research that is significant to work that you are carrying out. So it can be, literate review that provide background information, the background information about the topics, and can be, establishing the importance of the research of the topics. Also to demonstrate familiarity, and yeah, to create offer space for further research, also to do for the future work. By using this literate review, we can understand this kind of things, from the background itself, from the importance of the study, from the familiarity of the topics, and also for the future research work. What are the characteristics of the effective literate review? So the characteristics is can be like this. So outlining important research trends, and assessing the strengths and weakness of the existing research. What is the pros and cons of the existing research, and what are the the weakness that we can improve. And actually, this is like more essential, actually, identifying potential gaps in knowledge. So from the literate review, actually, we can find the potential gaps in the knowledge, and then establish a need for a current or future research project. It can be like a guideline for our research, future research. And by reading this kind of literate review, then we can carry out the the future research project. Okay, there are 6 generic steps involved in conducting a review articles. So this is like a common step actually in conducting a review article. The first step is formulating the research questions and objective. So we try to find the specific topics or research questions. Then we search for the extant literature, and we screen the inclusions. So how many papers are available, and then how many papers are included for the final inclusions. I will be discussing this more detail in the case study section. And assessing the quality of the primary studies. So after we filter out the unnecessary topics or unnecessary papers. We had a set of the papers as a final inclusion, right? And then we have to assess the quality of our selected papers. And we extract the data, and then lastly, we analyze the data. This is like a common steps in conducting review article. So for the tools, actually there is one like a well-known framework in writing systematic review. We call it Prisma. Prisma is very, I think, very popular nowadays. Yeah, within the last decades, I think, within the last decades, it is very popular and it has been, applied in many review articles. So Prisma Prisma stands for Preferred Reporting Item for Systematic Review and Meta-Analysis. So Prisma actually is a guideline. They provide guideline, also flowcharts, and also checklists for the write-up. So meta-analysis actually is very popular in the medical domain to assess the pros and the cons of the existing approaches. And yeah, I have also experience in doing the systematic review. So probably my 2 case studies will be the systematic review. But yeah, I never do the meta-analysis. So you can find this Prisma framework, etc., the guideline, and also the flowchart from this link. I didn't check actually. Unfortunately, I didn't check. So probably you may check whether it works or not, the link. Okay, searching for evidence. This is like the first step, that we have to search the evidence, search for the existing papers. It may come from electronic database, Medline, ProQuest, Scopus, Web Science, or even Google Scholars. So even any other electronic database, like in our domain, for instance, we have IEEE Explore for the paper that were published in electronic engineering, electrical engineering. We have IEEE Explore, or any kind of the search. It can be also Scopus, with the, that index the journal or reputable journal, or even from Web of Science. And so maybe we can also try for the Google Scholar. But the problem with Google Scholar, actually, all of the sources you will retrieve, you will get all type of sources, and then you need like a lot of effort to filter out the unnecessary papers. Sometimes we have a lot of, a lot of sources, a lot of paper when we search in Google Scholar. But I recommend to make more scoping effort by searching in the Scopus or Web of Science, because these are like reputable or well-known indexing services, and the quality of the paper actually is much better than the paper available in Google Scholar. Actually, the article published indexed in Scopus on Web of Science actually available in Google Scholar. But Google Scholar can be many things, can be many kinds of the papers can be, research, any kind of research, even for the seminar reports, and even for the, because they don't filter, actually they don't filter the document in Google Scholar. They just put the link and then the citations. But for Scopus of Web and Web of Science, actually they have reliable, actually, search techniques. Yeah, you can try the Scopus and Web of Science. And then what we are trying to find in the searchings, actually we have to find the key journals. So only the most applicable journals, or and bibliographies of systematic reviews and bibliographies of the key journals articles. So we can try from the key journal articles, and then from the key journals from each paper, we can try the bibliographies of the systematic review and bibliographies of the key journal articles. And then who has cited key journal articles. And we can also find from the internet sources and gray literature. Do you know
Mr.
gray
Bayu,
literature?
apologies, the time is only left 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay.
Yes.
So what time we start, actually? Did we start?
Around 15:40.
Okay. 15:40. So it's more than like an hour. So yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, because I was late also, then yeah, it can be. Okay, okay, let me speed up the. Yeah, from the literature review, we have reference management tools. We can use some of the tools here: EndNote, Mendeley, Zotero, and reports. EndNote, actually, this is like licensed software, but you can use Mendeley or Zotero. I never use Mendeley, but I ever used Zotero. This is also reliable, good for the searching and managing the reference. Because you need to screen and filter out the papers, right? For the final inclusions, that you need this kind of software. Otherwise, you have to do it manually. And it's very hard and difficult. Okay, case studies. For the case studies, actually, I have one paper published in Computer Science Review. This is a key one in Web of Science. It has impact factor for 8. Actually, this is like the key one, because if we can see the category rank, it's almost in the 10% of the 10% of the computer science field. So as you may see, right, and this paper actually review articles, and it receives a lot of citations already. Even it was published in within last year, like July or August, and then it's been 1 year, then you receive also a lot of citations. So it matters, right, to write a review article, and then you have to try it the same. So in this paper, actually, in this review article, I review about the ensemble learning, particularly for intrusion detection systems. So I did a systematic mapping study, as well as the benchmark evaluations. So not just systematic mapping study, so I propose kind of a benchmark evaluations for the existing techniques. Yeah, this is kind of similar to meta-analysis, but it is like a more like comparisons, benchmarks in computer science field. The case study for second paper, actually, this was published in medical journal. Yeah, I was fortunate to have publication in medical journal. actually, and I work with some of the medical doctors from Department of Otolaryngology. This is like a kind of a new field of the head and neck surgery. Yeah, this is like this paper actually provide a guideline for the existing topics. You know, whoever working on the head and neck surgery in this field, otorhinolaryngology, actually can have benefit from reading this paper, because we provide some of the artificial intelligence techniques. We discuss and then we classify the techniques, and then from here they can have that kind of background and literature review, and even the research gaps of the existing approach related to AI in this, to the head and neck surgery. So it was published in Q1 as well, but Q1 in this field, not Q1 in computer science like before, like my previous paper. Yeah, it was published in 2020, and it's also received a lot of citations as well. So, but not as many as my previous citation, previous paper actually, because this is like the impact factor also small, and the journal and also the topics that I discuss is very specific here, and maybe no one interested. So this is also can be used as a guideline. So I'm gonna share this the paper, or you can find. I put like a link for each paper, Dewey link, so you can search. So actually, these two papers are open access, so you can download and then you can distribute as much as you want. Okay, thank you. We reached the end of my presentations. Thank you. So now it's time to answer the questions you may have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for Mr. Bayu Aditama, PhD. So we will continue to our discussion session. First of all, we would like to invite participants that want to ask their question by using the feature raise hands. While waiting for them, actually we already have a few questions. One of the questions that actually quite interesting is how we can find the right topic for our research. Actually, you just mentioned also in your presentation earlier, but maybe you can briefly introduce again to us how we can find the right topic for our research.
Okay, the right topic is something that you like, or you observe, or you may interested in, something, what you love actually, what you like. So actually I cannot force you to the specific topics, but it can be your previous topics during your master. If you are a PhD student, if you are a master student, then it can be your previous topic in the bachelor. From that you may think kind of extensions. You may think about the extension and improvement of what you have done in your previous degree. I think this can be also a good start for finding research topic.
I think we are agree with you that we should find the one that we are very passionate about. And also we have Miss Layli here raise hand. So Miss Layli, we invite you to ask your question directly.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you all hear my voice?
Yes,
is it working fine? Okay,
yes.
thank you.
It's just
Okay, thank you for the
Okay,
given
go
time.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, okay. Mr. Bayu Aditama, I would like to have like one simple question because I have been wondering about a statement that you just mentioned. This is my first time of me hearing about a term gray literature. Would you please explain it further? What does it mean with gray literature? Why is it gray or something?
Okay. It was
Thank you.
interrupted actually, if I remember by the moderator. I'm gonna discuss about the gray literature, but time is up. Was up. Okay. So gray literature is actually unpublished work. So it can be, it's not journal or something. So if I can share the screen.
Yes. Okay.
Gray literature. Gray literature is really unpublished work. So unpublished work. I don't know why my screen was frozen. Gray literature actually unpublished work. It can be like a PhD thesis. So you never published your PhD thesis, right? And also like seminar presentations and any kind of publication that have been never published in the well-known journal or conferences. That is gray literature actually.
Okay, so the point is a literature that is unpublished yet or not
Yeah,
published.
unpublished. Yeah, unpublished.
But can we still use it?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay.
But in review article, in making review article, we have to filter out this kind of gray literature. We don't include in the final inclusions actually.
Okay.
But we can use as a as your for your background, for your information, just to know the specific topics. Yeah, we can use of course.
To add information.
Yes.
Okay.
To get familiar with the topic, right?
I have another question. Would you please explain it further about a statement that occurred on characteristics of effective literature reviews at point establishing
Characteristic of what?
Effective literature reviews.
Okay.
Yeah. In your
Effective
PowerPoint, in your
review.
slides, yeah, in your slides, so there is one point that mentions establishing a need for current and or future research projects. What does it mean? I'm not sure I understand about this point.
It is in my slides.
Yes, yeah. Your slide with the title Characteristics of Effective Literature Reviews. There are 4 points and 4 points outlining. Okay. Yeah. What I'm asking
establishing a need for current and or future research projects. Yeah, usually actually, literature review, actually by doing literature review, we can also, think about the needs of the future research problems, future research project. You may think about the new topics or I mean a new approach for the that are different from current existing approach. So this is like can be your future research projects, your future research topics, that you are not you're not stopping on this topic as well, but you're gonna extend, you're gonna extend, or you're gonna improve, or any kind of the improvements you can make as a future research topic or research project.
Does it mean that the topic has to be like a useful in the future or something?
Yes. It may identify the need
The
for
future
the
needs.
research, future needs.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Bayu Aditama.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Lely. Continuing from the question from Miss Lely, we have also a question related to the filling in the gaps. In your experience, do you have any kind of special technique or tools to know for the beginner, especially to fill the gap between one research and then another research?
Okay. So first thing first, actually, you have to do a critics to the paper. So that's what I've done for my master students. So actually, I was taught about how to make a critics to the paper. So you read the papers and then you can make a critics to the paper. Even I've ever published like one paper that make a critics to the published articles in a particular journal. And I found that they are doing wrong in the experiments, and I can prove that my critics are are addressable and are more feasible. And it was published. The paper also published even for the such kind of a critics paper. So try to make a critics for the paper that you are reading. So read the paper and then make critics. From that, I think you can identify the problem and fill the gap. See, it's all about can be performance, accuracy, as I mentioned, or something that this author is maybe is wrong in doing something. I don't know. Or you can improve. You may think that you can improve the accuracy, for instance, or even the process. We are talking about the framework. We can improve. We can propose a framework. For instance, it is like a manual, and then we can automatic. Then, there's like I think the first step of filling the gaps. The make a critics to the paper. That's the essential point, I think.
Okay. Thank you. Continuing also from that question. So there's quite a new, because there's we have a question related about the difference between the systematic reviews and also meta-analysis, and also the difference between the literature reviews versus the mapping study. What is actually the difference in the method and also in the result?
Yeah, of course, because in meta-analysis, actually, I never done with the meta-analysis, but if you are in the medical domain, they usually do meta-analysis as the analysis part of their review, because not just the review, but they make a comparisons. They do a statistical analysis on that and make a comparisons in terms of any kind of criteria. So criteria can be performance or even any kind of the criteria. That is meta-analysis. Systematic review, actually systematics is more like in-depth literature review. And the literature review itself is about it can be like a two form, right? As I mentioned, literature review can be two form. It can be like your introductions for your thesis, or it can be like a review articles. So the process of the final process, the final outcome for the literature review can be two main parts. The first part is can be your introduction part for your thesis, and you can also publish the review article, the literate review, as the final outcome of the literate review process. And what else? Again, systematic
Mapping
review.
study.
Okay, systematic mapping study actually.
Yeah.
Systematic SMS. Yeah, this is more like you make a kind of what I say, like the mapping study, because I don't know why it doesn't work. So let me. Sometimes usually I can explain better by using a sample. I cannot just mention the, we do this, we do this, we do this, but there is no evidence on it. So this is like explanation based on evidence. Give me 1 second. Okay. So do I share my paper actually?
Share
No.
screen? Not yet.
No, I mean to moderator. To Miss Dewi, actually, do I share? Did I share my
Yes.
paper?
Would you like me to share your PowerPoint?
No, not PowerPoint. My paper actually. I should share.
Yes, but you can send it to me and then I can present it to everyone here.
Okay. I think all of you have access, right, to the journals, right? The specific journal, and I think your university actually provides the access. So I can share. Let me share. Okay, do you see my screen? This is an example of what I presented of the systematic mapping study. Systematic mapping study, actually, we have to try to, this is the process of the screening, inclusion for exclusion. And we have to try to map, the assessment study based on the publication year, for instance, and for the distributions of the in terms of types of publications, how many papers published in conference, journal, book chapter, symposium, workshop. And we can also kind of map the assessment study based on the data sets, something like this. So how many papers? And mapping selected study by the techniques, the approach. So we can make this kind of table to make the mapping study. And yeah, that's all. This is like a discussion, and then can also mapping by the detection techniques, by the ensemble techniques and the detection techniques. So the detection techniques, okay, this one is kind of the mapping study for the selected study in terms of the publication outlets. And this is like a classification of the selected study based on the detection techniques. So we can do the similar things with your own topics, actually. And I do also the comparisons here, but I believe that some of you are familiar with this kind of topics, but some of you are not. So it's a type of the systematic study. We are trying to map or to classify the existing study based on the public types of publications, the techniques they use, and any kind of criteria that you can classify. I think that's answer your
Yes.
questions.
Yes. Thank you. And maybe due to the time, we have one more question. And then this one is for the
I can also answer even 10 or more, 20 questions maybe.
Maybe you can share with us and how you usually finalize your idea and how long usually it will take. And also maybe this question
finalize
your idea. And then maybe this one is for the master degree and also the PhD students, because most of the paper is mostly are in English language, and then some of them maybe have difficulties to relate the English terminology into the Bahasa Indonesia. So what is your suggestion on these issues?
Yeah, we have Google Translate, right? That's the most, I think, accessible accessible tools that we can use. We can use Google Translate, right? So not every word we don't understand, we don't know, right? So if you are graduate students, then you are smart enough, I think, to understand even the very simple words. Even you don't need to go to Google Translate to translate, for instance, like any kind of simple words, right? So you have like knowledge already, and you've been knowledgeable on the English. English is important in this process, because most of the previous published paper are written in English, and there's like a few only published in Bahasa Indonesia. So I encourage improve your skill in English, but for the very difficult words, for instance, you can go to Google Translate or any kind of translation tools. But don't try to translate all of the contents, that's time consuming and wasting time. And for me to finalize the idea, actually it took me only by reading the paper, right? So you need to read the paper, actually some a set of various papers. For the final inclusion, let's say we have 20 papers, and you have to commit to determine the the time, to set the time you're gonna finish reading one paper within a week, for instance. And if you are a full-time student, actually I believe that most of this PhD students are full-time, right? So full-time means that you will only do the research for your for your PhD degree, for your doctorate degree. And you have to set the time that you're gonna finish reading a paper within a week, for instance. Or for the beginner, maybe we can finish within like 2 weeks. Within the time frames, actually 2 weeks, then if you finish reading a paper within one paper for a week, then let's say we have very, very limited number of paper we have already filtered out. Then for the final paper that really interests and really important to your research are only 4 paper, for instance, then maybe within a month you can finalize. But make sure that the filtering process and also the searching process are are essential, are effective within your research. Otherwise, you just wasting time of reading inessential on important papers, the papers that are not useful for your research. Make sure that filtering and also the searching process and filtering process are essential, effective.
Okay.
So how many papers usually for PhD students? What supervisor say? What your supervisor said about the literature review? How many papers you have to read actually? Have you heard about it? I don't know, I'm asking PhD student here. So how many papers actually? Yeah, for the beginning actually, you have to read 200 papers. 200 papers, not we don't need to read all of them, but we can do the filtering. We can do the filtering stuff. The paper that really really fit to your concern, to your specific topic. Because we only do like a small portion of the research, right, for the PhD student. For the bachelor student, we do this kind of timeline, and we do this kind of things. And for master, we more specifically discuss very specific topic. And for PhD students, it's more like a specific. Okay, and then it's just only like small portions. Even your contribution is only 10% or 1% or 0. Something percent, But if it is original and a novel, and it's new and then never published, then yeah, it can be your contributions, right? I think that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Bayu. I think the PhD students now, they need to prepare themselves to read more paper and also do the literature review and faster following your suggestion. Okay, I think that's the last question that we have because we are running out of time. Once again, thank you again to Mr. Bayu for amazing insight on getting your research idea and also the tools for literature review. Before ending the session, I will read some conclusion. So the characteristic of great research is on the how you obtain the idea based on what you're passionate about, and also how you execute. What technique are you going to use? Hybrid analysis, cross-fertilization, and also fill in the gap by doing the critical review, for example. And also the presentation and what we will do for the future research. So now identify your secret weapon and also continue your research. I think this will end our session. Thank you for your attention. And I will hand over to Miss Dewi. Thank you.
Thank you very much for Dr. Bayu Aditama for a very inspiring and informative lecture today. And thank you, Miss Vivi, for conducting this amazing session. I really like the PowerPoint presented. It's quite clear and providing me with some tips how to find our research ideas. This is quite clear also. I hope everyone's enjoyed. And then please give applause for our inspiring speaker and amazing moderator by using the Zoom action feature for today's empowering session. Please wait for a second. I will ask the committee to share the screen. So, as a token of appreciation, I would like to present a certificate for our honorable speaker and our moderator. So this is the certificate for Bapak Bayu Aditama, PhD. As our gratitude for today's session, thank you very much, Dr. Bayu, for your availability today, providing the lecture for this
You're welcome.
session.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Terima
you're
kasih.
mostly welcome.
Next, the certificate is presented for Miss Vivi for being our moderator today. Thank you very much, Miss Vivi, for your availability and for your for conducting the session. Thank you. And then before we end our session today, would like to invite all participants along with speaker and moderator to take a group photo. Oh, sorry. This is the topic for next Thursday, 3rd November 2022. It will be about common research methodology in your field and research management skill. It will be by Bapak Ivan Singgi, PhD from South Korea. Okay.
So he's my colleague, actually, my best friend. Just for your information.
Okay, thank you very much. So please, everyone, we would like to take a group photo. So, okay, I will make a countdown. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, put your best smile. Don't forget about it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, cheers.
Yes.
Okay, please wait. I will.
In Korea, actually, we usually say kimchi. Kimchi.
Oh,
say
yeah, you can
kimchi.
say that as well. Don't
Something
worry.
kimchi.
Okay. So next one, say kimchi. Oh, wait a second. We have like around 12 pages, so please be patient about this one. Okay, let's wait. Okay, next one. Still have pages here. Oh, okay. I think we have enough. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. So now that we have finished the group photo, I would like to remind everyone to fill the feedback form. Just everyone has been succeed in open the form or not yet? Please. I think it's already worked, so I would like to remind all of participants to fill the feedback form provided in the Zoom chat room. The participant who will get the same point is participant who comes on time during this event until the end and also fill the feedback form. Finally, we have reached to the end of R2SEP, and we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience during the session. For me, as the Master of Ceremony and also the committee, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our speaker and moderator and all participants for attending the session. We already talked about the future agenda, so I hope you enjoy today's session. Thank you very much, Dr. Bayu, and also Ibu Vivi, and also all the participants. And then hopefully we can meet you soon for the next session. Thank you very much. Semoga sehat selalu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, bye everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Pak Bayu.
you, Pak Bayu.
Pak Bayu.
Thank
you.
you, Pak Bayu.
Bye.
Thank you.